In this session, we are going to see a case of multiple regression. We have taken insurance data set based on the factors x1 to x6. We are going to determine what should be the insurance charges. Here, factors like age, sex, BMI, children, smoker, region, they are all independent variables. Why the insurance charges is the dependent variable? That is, insurance charges is dependent on age, sex, so on and so forth. In Google Cloud Vertex environment, the dependent variable is also referred to as target variable. So don't get confused. The classical definition is dependent versus independent variable. In Google Cloud nomenclature, we will be using target variable. Target variable is nothing but the dependent variable, which is insurance charges in this case. Okay. Having seen the kind of data set that we are going to be using, let's understand the process that is followed in Google Cloud for developing the model and deploying the model. The first step is determining whether it's a classification problem or a regression problem. Okay. The next step is you upload the data. You upload the data from your own computer or from cloud storage. It can be Google's cloud storage, or it can be some other cloud storage. Then you need to determine in the data set that you have uploaded what is the dependent variable or the target variable. You then run the model. Then you deploy the model. For deploying the model, there are a couple of options. You can create an endpoint for online predictions, or you can create a batch prediction request where it will take time. And then you will use the data set for predicting the future. So this is broadly the process that is followed. This 6-step process is what is followed in both classification as well as regression. Clear? So let's create a data set. We are going to be using regression / classification option under tabular. The data set that we are going to upload is tabular data. It is a CSV file. So let's first name the data set. It is multiple regression. Okay. And now we will click create. The data set is created. We now have to upload the relevant data set. When I say data set is created, all it means is we are choosing the type of data that is going to be uploaded, and we are giving a name to the data set. Okay. Now we have to upload the relevant data into the data set. We have 3 options. You can either upload from your own computer, which is what I am going to do, or you can upload from cloud storage, or you can upload the table from BigQuery provided by Google Cloud. Okay. So we are going to upload from my computer. That is the scenario I am going to explain. Okay. Let's choose the data set. As I said, it's a CSV file. We will choose the CSV file and click open. The relevant file will be selected. Okay. You can also choose where you are going to store this. There is something that is automatically provided by Google Cloud. You have the option of choosing another cloud storage path within Google Cloud infrastructure. Okay. Once the path is finalized, we then click continue. Okay. That will take us to the next option. We will wait for the upload to be complete, right? And then the process of model building begins. So once it is uploaded, we can click dismiss here and then click continue. Okay. And here if you see, there is option to generate statistics for the data that we have uploaded. What is this generate statistics all about? It tells the extent of distinct values that are there in the data set, and more importantly, it tells if there are any missing values in our data set. If there are missing values in our data set, we cannot continue with model building. So please note that. That is one of the requirements of machine learning. If there are missing values, we need to remove them before we can go to training the model. If you don't want to remove, you need to insert some other value, right? Like you can replace the missing values with, say, mean or median, or even mode, depending on the type of data you got. Okay, that is part of data preparation. So please ensure there are no missing values. Also note, the process of uploading the data, generating statistics, building the model takes time. You need to have patience. Okay, so now when I click generate statistics, after a while the values will be displayed. Okay, as I said, it takes some time for us to start seeing the results. So thankfully there are no missing values here, and the number of distinct values in our data set for each of the fields is known, right? So if you see here, charges is my dependent variable. All the others are independent variable. That is, quantum of charges that will be charged by the insurance company is dependent on age, BMI, children, region, sex, and smoker status. Clear? So we have uploaded the data, we have ensured there are no missing values. We are now ready to train our model, right? So that is our next step. So we will come to training the model. So once you click that, you will choose, you're going to name the data set, right? If necessary, rather you're going to rename the data set if it is necessary. And you are going to indicate whether it is a case of classification or regression. In this case, it is a case of regression. So let's choose that first, and then we are going to choose the option of AutoML here, right? That is, Google Cloud is going to develop the model for us, and we are developing this model without writing a single line of code. Okay. So now let's click continue. We come to the second step. Okay, you can give a name to the model, or you can choose the name that has been selected by Google Cloud. In addition to that, you also choose what is the target column. Target column is nothing but the dependent variable. So please choose that. In this case, it is charges. Okay. Just seeing what are the options under advanced. Here we are going to let Google Cloud decide how the split between testing, validation, and training will happen. We are letting Google do that split for us, right? We are not manually doing that. Okay. All we are doing is just uploading the data, indicating what is our dependent variable. We are telling whether it is a case of classification or regression. Everything else is done by Google. Okay, clear? So now we are using random assignment. 80% is for training, 10% for validation, and 10% for testing. Okay. If you note, the other two options are manually assigning it or chronologically assigning it, right? That is, the first 80% goes for training, the next 10% for validation, and the next 10% for testing. That is not the right way of building the model. Okay, it is always best to go for random assignment. The data selection for the purpose of training, validation, and testing must be random. Okay, so that's what we are choosing here, and we are letting the Google's Vertex platform do this job for us. So let's click continue, and it will take us to the next step where details of the dependent variable and all the other variables are shown. If you want, you can remove one or more of independent variables also. That is why you see this minus sign. Clear? So let's click continue. So we come to the last step where we have to indicate the number of nodes. The data set that I have uploaded is fairly small. Okay, so we will go for the minimum one, which will be one node R. Please note that the more number of hours that you train the model, the accuracy will be that much higher. Okay, so please keep this in mind, but the cost will also be proportionately higher. Okay, so let's choose one, and we also choose the enable the option for yearly stop. Right, so we are all set for starting the process of model building. So we'll click start training. As I indicated, it is going to take time. Okay, so the model building is happening. You get the message that the training has started, and you will be emailed when the training completes. You will get a mail in your registered email ID, okay, the one that you use to register for this Google Cloud services. You will get the email when the training has been completed. As I indicated, it takes time. Okay, we will wait for it. It is now complete, and we can now deploy this model for any of the future data set. Okay, so let's click that to see what is the extent of accuracy in the model. Before looking at the accuracy numbers, let's see the feature importance. In my opinion, this is a wonderful option that is provided by Google Cloud. When you run a model, sometimes it becomes difficult to explain which factors are important to business people, because business people may not have knowledge of machine learning. We know in machine learning some factors are more important than the rest. So feature importance tells which of the factors are more important for the outcome. You can use this graph to explain your model to business people. Okay, so this is a very good value addition. So now let's see the accuracy level. We have got an R square of 0.834. Okay, that is, the accuracy level is 83%. The other value that is of importance is RMSE, root mean square error. What is the extent of error in absolute terms? Right, that is what the other values are. Okay, we covered some of this already in the classification and regression concept session. Right, the key point is R square and RMSE. If you want to know what is that, if you toggle the cursor over the question mark that appears next to R square, RMSE, etc., you will get details of the relevant metric. So we have got a fairly good accuracy, right? Our data set is a simple data set, right? If you have more data points, I'm sure the accuracy will also be higher. And also, if you train the data set for a longer duration, you will end up with a higher accuracy. So please keep this in mind. So we have now trained the model. We have got a good R square. We also know which factors are influencing the outcome a lot more compared to other variables. Okay, now we go to deploy and test. For deploying and testing the model, we can either go for the option of creating an endpoint and doing the prediction for online requests, or we can go for batch predictions where the prediction will happen after a while. The one that I'm going to demonstrate in this video involves batch predictions, where we are going to upload a CSV file and see the results. As I said, endpoints are useful for online prediction requests. They are much faster. Batch predictions take time. So let's come to batch predictions. We have to upload the data and then use the model that we just trained, and we will have the results. Okay. So for this, we need to use the create batch prediction option. First, we will create the name, then we have to upload the data. Okay. You can either upload the data from cloud storage of Google Cloud or something else also. I'm going to choose the location where the file has been uploaded. Okay. If you see here, the file that I'm going to use is not there yet. Okay, in the cloud storage. So I'm going to upload the data and then use the data for prediction. Let's create the data set that we are going to use for validating the model. Let's give the name to it, and it's a tabular data, comes under regression classification. The data set has been created and we are ready to upload the file. So it's going to be a CSV that I'm uploading from my computer. Okay, so let's upload this file. We follow the same procedure that we adopted earlier for creating the data set, creating and uploading the data set. Now our data set is ready. We are not going to do any of the other activities. We are not going to do any of the other activities. We are just going to use this data set for validating or deploying the model, right? So now let's choose this under models. If you see here, if you see the left hand side, it is under models, multiple regression underscore, that is the model we created. Okay, so now let's click that. This is the model we created. We will choose the batch prediction. So let's give the name to this batch prediction. And we will choose the file. The file is there in the data set that we created, which is there in Google's own cloud storage, right? So I'm choosing where it is there. That's what I'm doing here. If you see, I'm choosing the path, right? And the output also I want it in CSV, right? The other options are JSON, okay? But in this case, I'm choosing just CSV. I upload a CSV file and I want the output in the CSV file. So now let's go and create. So this is a new batch prediction. Let's also indicate where this data set will be uploaded, right? That is the output. Where will the output go and reside, right? So I choose that and then I click create. If you see, the batch prediction has started. It will take a while. We will be emailed once it is complete and ready. Okay. We'll wait for the result to appear. The result has appeared. Let's now go and see the results. Okay. We will be able to see the results in the form of a CSV. The location where this is available is also provided, right? The results are available for each of the data points, right? But I want to see for all the data points together. So I'm downloading the data. So let's download the data and the result will be seen here. Can you see here? This is a CSV file, comma separated values file, right? It is opening in a browser. Okay. You can open this in Excel file also. You can open this in the text file also. This is a comma separated values file. Okay. You see here, the independent variables are there and the last column is predicted charges. Clear? That's what we have predicted. We have developed the model, we have deployed the model, and we have done the prediction without writing a single line of code. Clear? And we have two options for prediction. Either you can create an endpoint under test and deploy, or you can upload a set of records in the form of a file under batch predictions. Okay. Here, the process of prediction will take a while and you can get the results either in the form of a CSV or JSON. Okay. Simple, right?